How are we all? We all good? Awesome. Nice to see you, Hands. Nina, hello, beautiful lady. Nicole, Cindy, Elizabeth, Liana, Jay, Linda, Nicola, Beth, Emily, hey, Linda, and Elizabeth. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, guys. Wow. I've got some inspiration for you today. And I've also got a little, let's see where you all want to go after this, in the sense of I've got a lot of things percolating in my spirit at the moment. So it's like, okay, I've got to land something because I'm out on different realms and getting different information and looking at different things. So it's like, okay. So I want to first talk about the name that we have called this event, which is spiritual offensive teaching. So let's just break this down. I'm one of these that likes to have the depth of the words that we use, or, things that are happening around us. I like to dig really deep. And so I get a really clear understanding of what it is that we're actually doing. So the word in the English offensive means to be actively aggressive, attacking. It's an operations against the insurgents, attacking military campaign, right? Now, obviously, as they do, they always have, a double meaning, which is offensive means that you get offended or you get hurt or that sort of thing. So we're talking about the one where we are leading the charge. Now, I used to play a lot of basketball, and I always used to love to play offensive because it means we're putting pressure on the other team and it causes them to make mistakes, right? That's an offensive game. When we stay in defense, it's like we're always on the back foot. We're always trying to catch up. We're trying to, like they're putting pressure on us. So we're always in that back foot, like, oh my gosh, how do we change this mentality and momentum? And, the Spirit's been talking to me about some things that he's asking me to do, which are some interesting assignments that are coming up. So I'm making sure that I'm well equipped with where he's taking me and what he's wanting me to do, and whether he wants to take other people with me in it. Okay, sometimes he tells me, no, this is just you. Other times he goes, no, I want you to start educating people on how to recognize the things that are around us that we take for granted that is actually an enemy ploy. So, and I'm going, okay, God, in the Spirit, what does it mean to be offensive? As in, what is it that you're calling us into? And that means to be, this is what he said to me. He said it means to be active. It means to be in a forward motion. And it means that your spirit is always engaged, right? Which is part of the learnings that we've had here, that, how to stay in God, who God is. These are really important foundational spiritual tools for you. So it also means like to be alert, to have awareness and to look out for the things that are around you. Like often when you really develop this, you can already see what people need before they even know they need it. Does that make sense? And I'll give you a really practical example. Someone's got a drink and I already see that they're going to spill it. So I already have a napkin there ready to catch it. Okay, so this is how we stay in this offensive, moving forward momentum. It also means being armed, ready, and prepared. And part of what God's been talking to me about is the shift that we're in. So let's backtrack a little bit. We're talking about the age of the apocalypse, right? And everyone's fear-mongering. It's like, oh my gosh, we're in the end times, we're all doomed. And religion is pushing, you know, if you don't have your ticket, or if you haven't done the rituals, or you haven't done all the things that the religion wants you to do, you're going to be left behind, or you're not going to make it. And these are the things that we're shifting, because these are lies and manipulations, right? Yes, we need to be ready, but not from a fear base. We're coming from knowing how much God loves us, and that he's already preparing us. He's already moving on your life and in your life to position you. It's very important that we know that, because if we get into like stress or anxiety, and we're going to miss it, and you're going to not be in the realms or the frequency of love and peace and acceptance. So then you are trapped into a works mentality, because I've got to make sure that I'm going to get in, so we're not coming from a works mentality. We're coming from being at peace, being connected, knowing who you are. And we've got lots of recordings. If you're not up to date with that, there's lots of recordings there on Empower for you to process that and learn that. So, part of the word apocalypse actually means an unveiling. It means a revealing. And the more I press into this, it's more of the revealing of who we are is coming to the surface. More and more people are open to the things of the Spirit, and they're looking for the right flow of the Spirit. They're looking for the right connection to God, the pure connection, rather than the man-made formulas and the do's and don'ts, but that authentic, intimate relationship with God. So, so there's this revealing of an unveiling of the forces of this world that we have been subject to, or that is available to us. So we're really seeing both the good that is available to us, but we're also seeing the unveiling of the evil or the bad that has stopped us from having this true connection in the Spirit. So it's calling us to recognize their offerings or the contracts that they're trying to entice us into. And this is really a really important key, because it can be a people group, it could be a community, and it could be one-on-one, where people are wanting us to engage with them, but it's not what we're meant to do. So, we're learning about and engaging with what is available to us, like that divine spiritual provision that is for us in the Spirit. And this is giving us access to the authority that we carry in the Spirit. It's giving us access to the greater works that we're meant to do, but it's not works. It's the relationship that we have with God, that it just flows out of it. It's like the fruits of your relationship just flows, and it becomes, people want to come and be with you. They love what you carry. They like, oh, can I have what you've got? You go, yeah, it's just a beautiful relationship with God, my creator. And it's available to all of us that he has created. So we're, in this season, and we've been in it for a couple of years, but I feel that there's this, in the Spirit, there's a next step to it. Like it's a deeper revealing that's coming. and the unveiling of truth, like I said, of who we are and what we were born to be. And, you know, scripture, if you want a scripture, it says, set your mind on the things above, expanded realm, shape your life with the reality from above. Okay, so set your mind on the things above. In other words, set your mind and your focus on the things of the spirit, not the things of this world. And when you sit in that, honestly, it really does. The things of this world just really do seem very trivial, or, you know, it's like not important. Yes, we need a house to live in, and we need food and clothes and all that sort of thing, the practical things. But I'm talking about the things of like, oh, I need this mansion, and I need the next level car, and I need to be seen with the right people and all that sort of stuff. So you know what I'm saying there. So we're coming into the heart of God for us is to come into the true mandate and come into alignment of what he has for us. So again, scripturally, it says that, you know, there's no sickness, there's no dying, there's no crying in the realms of the spirit, because it's just such a beautiful place to live. Doesn't mean that our emotions are void. It means that, you know, because I get very emotional when I'm connecting with God, but that's the relationship that I have with him. When he does amazing things for me, I just go, wow, God, thank you so much. Like, you've just blessed me. Like, I feel the gratitude, and that gratitude can often, I either laugh or I cry. And, you know, and you kind of, especially when you're learning, when you see his goodness and kindness that's stretched out to you, it does move you. But, you know, you grow in that, and knowing that, just like a child with a parent, you grow in that relationship. And it's like, yeah, okay, thank you. You get past that, oh my gosh, I feel so, because that brings a healing to where you have felt unworthy, or where you haven't felt good enough. It starts to bring healing to that. It brings you up into the higher realms of who you are and what he's called you to do. So part of the, you know, the shift that we're in is that we are moving from one kingdom into another. And that is, we are moving out of the kingdom of darkness and we're moving into the kingdom of light. Now, the word kingdom means the king's domain. So when we come into the king's domain, we're sitting in, you know, his presence, where, you know, some people like to call it, we come into his throne room, or we come into his courts. And it's like we are privy to the conversations that are being had, and we become aware of the things that are happening on the earth. And this is where I want to go with this, is that we are needing to be prepared and open and flexible to the very hands of God, and we become moldable. And it's my experience that any area that God wants to mold me in, it's been for my betterment. It's been for my benefit. It's made me a better person. It's made me more open. It's grown me in my awareness of the things of the spirit. So this is that, as I think I talked about this last week, was that we've got to come out of this trial and tribulation programming, and realizing that God is for us and he's with us. So if he's for you, doesn't matter what you face, he's in it with you, and he's going to show you how to get out of it or how to deal with it. And part of our equipping in this spiritual time is recognizing the contracts that are being offered. And then we either agree or we disagree. And this is really important. You know, we've had a big move in the last couple of years of people knowing their rights. You know, with everything that's happened with the, you know, COVID and, you know, being all these mandates, and, you know, it's people going, hang on a minute, what? So this goes against our physical rights, our spiritual rights as well. And this is part of what's rising up, is people are aware that, no, you're not taking these rights away from you. And a lot of it too can be based on, you know, we want freedom and liberty. And it's like, well, you're actually already free and you already have liberty. Again, that's a bit of a mindset challenge, because people are thinking that they're not free, but that's not true. We have free will, and we have the ability to connect with the things of the Spirit, and we have choices. Even what God presents to you is a choice. He will never make you do something that you don't want to do. Okay, and that's really important. There are some, you know, I'm kind of going, well, let's go the quick road. If there's things that I need to deal with, I'm happy to deal with them, because I know that they are for my betterment. They are for my growth. They are for my encouragement. And also, the most importantly, they are taking steps towards fulfilling the blueprint and the purpose and the plan that's been written on my heart. Now, some people don't know what's written on their heart. And this is where you can sit and ask your heart, ask the Spirit, what am I here for? Why have you got me here? And this is where too, in your dreams can start to reveal what's written in your heart, that your mind and your being isn't able to yet see or comprehend. And you know, I've had many dreams that I've stepped into going, oh, you showed me this, so this is what this is. And I know that I'm right in the very heart and will of God. So, you know, let me touch on that. A lot of religion will teach you that, you know, you're not in the will of God and you've missed it, and, you know, he's going to punish you because you've missed it. Honestly, guys, if you stay surrendered, even if you think that you've missed it or you've taken a path that's like not the best path, God can bring you out of that and back into, you know, where the path that he's got for you. You know, you're back. I don't think you can ever fully step out of God's will. I think he's, you know, well able to bring you back into alignment with the things that he has for you, the things that have been written on your heart, your purpose and your plan. And it's also, you know, activating and learning the strategies of the enemy. Scripture says, you know, don't be unaware of the enemy, because he comes around growling and snarling, seeking who he can devour. Right? And that's exactly what they do. That's exactly how demons work. They're always looking for opportunities. And the case is, if we don't go into contracts that we shouldn't step into, or agreements or choices, he's got nothing to get us on. Does that make sense? It's like we are in line with God and we are fully protected. So let's talk about protection. Lisa, do you have a question? Can it wait till the end, or you need to ask it now? Okay. So part of, you know, understanding how the enemy works, let me tell you this. He has never changed his formula. He's been doing the same thing for centuries. And he will always try and come in and cause chaos and disunity. There is two main functions. So confusion, chaos, and disunity. So if you start to see that happening, then you just step back and take authority. So taking authority means you just take authority over the airwaves. You just go, hang on a minute, I'll just clear that right now. I just take authority over what's happening that is not of God, and I just speak peace. And sometimes you got to go, you know what, I'll just tell this to come to an end right now. And the other thing is, if you see people getting elevated in their conversations and they're yelling, and the next one's yelling louder and the next one's yelling louder, you can just take that authority over that and dispel it. And at the end of the day, if you're one of those people, the best thing you can do is walk away, because nothing is going to be achieved when two people are elevated in their emotions with anger and frustration and trying to get their point across. It never happens, because it becomes a battle of wills on who's going to yell, speak, or say the meanest things. Right? And that is definitely not the atmosphere of God or heaven that we want around us. So, you either calm the situation down. I used to have to say, look, just walk away right now. I used to have to say that to my son. I go, Jace, just walk away right now. We'll come back to this. Just calm down. And he would, because he knew that that was the only way that things were going to be dispersed. The other thing is that we need to stay in the frequency of being winners. Now, I'm not talking about winners in the worldly sense. I'm talking about winners in the spiritual. When we stay in the knowledge of knowing that every battle is already won, that God has already fulfilled all the things and put in place all the things for the victory, even in the situation that is going on globally, that we never enter into the battle. It doesn't mean that we can't help. And I think there's more that we actually do need to participate in to fully engage with the things that are coming onto the earth for us and for the globe. But we need to be aware of the enemy. I do spend time, processing what's going on in the world, and I'm always looking to see, okay, is this a good thing or is it not? I look in the spirit to process what's actually going on, because there's often the things that they're saying is not what actually is happening. And then the things that are happening is not what they're actually saying. And this is where we've become very aware of the misinformation. And this is also in the spirit. There is misinformation coming out about the spirit, about who God really is. And that's what we're coming out from underneath. And this is where we've got to look at what religion says and does and its expectations, and what the heart of God says for us. So one of the little journeys that I've been going on, and I've been really led by the Spirit in the last couple of weeks, is I'm looking into some of the rituals that we have participated in, knowingly and unknowingly. And sometimes it's been done on our behalf by our parents. So one of the rituals that I've been led to look into is baptisms. And I'm not going to share that with you at the moment because it's quite in depth, and I really want to bring a really, clear explanation of what it is in the churches and what it actually is in the spirit and the heart of God. But, those rituals, honestly, it's a little bit mind-blowing, because we are signing or being signed into contracts that are very demonic. And part of the process for me is showing us how to break those curses, those vows, which are another level to what we deal with generationally, or word curses or oaths and that we make. These are ones that are made on our behalf. So stay tuned for that. And I feel that's part of what being a spiritually offensive is that we start to be more aware of their double meanings in what they represent, but what it actually means behind the scenes. And I think a lot more of that's going to come out for us to realize what we're participating in. And it's not just in religion, it is in the New Age movement as well. And that will be, you know, you've got to discern it. You're the one that's got to grow in it. I'm just going to present different things, and you're the one that takes it in the sense of it is truth or it is not truth for you. Remember, we are all at different levels of truth. And what I mean by that is that truth is always expanding and you are always growing in it. You know, you can get the truth of that God loves you, but then it starts to grow. The depth of his love starts to expand. The depth of his heart toward you starts to become revelation for you. They're not just words like, oh, God loves you. That's one level of truth. But it's a doorway into expanding and experiencing that truth to different levels. And we are all at different places of that truth. I'm sharing with you the levels that I've learned. And like I said, everything I share with you is because of the experience I've had. And we can all experience things differently. But it is funny because some conversations like, yeah, that happened to me too. And it's similar. So you're like, okay. So these are the things that are coming before us. And some of you will want to come on assignments with me when I start to reveal the deeper levels of things that are going on around us in the sense of how to recognize some of the ruling spirits in towns and over nations. And, you know, like I say this with caution because, you know, some people go, yeah, let's do that, but they're not fully armed and ready. So we'll have to do a chat about how to be fully armed in this. And one of the things that people talk about is, you know, putting on the armor of God, you know, the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the gospel of peace, all that sort of thing. But my question is, and some people go, yeah, I put it on every day. And my response to them is, why would you ever take it off? Because putting it on every day then becomes a formula. Like I need my armor at nighttime. I don't know about you. So, you know, these are the things that we get taught, but it's no, don't ever take it off. Leave it on. Keeps fully protected all the time. Never take off the protection that God's giving you in any circumstance or situation, because literally there can be arrows can be fired at you and it will just bounce off you. That is how the armor of God works. That's having, you know, being fully immersed in his presence and power is your armor. And and it's really the full armor of God is really just a, you know, yes, how you think, how you carry your heart, where you tread, where you walk, are all really important factors of how to stay safe. So I really feel that our true mandate is coming into alignment. And our governmental responsibilities is what is starting to really rise up. And that's coming through the awareness of, you know, what is around us, and not just, you know, going, oh yeah, that's interesting, but starting to recognize their symbolism and their wording so that we are not contracting with it. Can God keep you protected in that? Absolutely. But we are coming to a place of being very responsible and more responsible for what we do and don't do. And that's how we grow in maturity, right, of understanding more of the things of the Spirit, and even biblically. So part of the stance that you want to come from is, number one, that we never have a battle mindset. Okay, we always stay at that higher realm. To me, it's like we're sitting over situations. We're not in situations or under situations. A lot of people come from being under situations, and that's where they panic and all their emotions are a mess, and, you know, they're freaking out. And you're just like, just calm down. It's all good. You know, we can get through this. The other thing too is, if we enter a mindset of being in a battle, we've shifted into our own strength, and we've shifted into our own wisdom. And this is where people get, you know, really battle worn, and also where the enemy can really come in and wreak havoc in their life. So this is a really important key in the Spirit as well, is that we stay above circumstances and situations. We're always looking in the Spirit for the solutions that are always available to us. That's another key as well, guys. But I've talked about that in some of the other recordings. So I'll answer Lisa's question, if that's okay.
Yeah, Dodi, it is the case that a few nights ago I got this insight that I had to ask you about the freedom and also the liberty. And now you're mentioning it, so I wanted to ask you, because of that, what is the difference between freedom and liberty? Because that's not clear. They are different terms, but I don't know what the difference is. How do you recognize what is liberty, what is freedom?
Well, you know, I look at it this way. Freedom is that I have the choice to do what I want to do, and liberty is making those choices. So the thing is, the word freedom and liberty, the way that a lot of governments present it, it's not what they're presenting. Freedom, like freedom in the Spirit, is that you are free. You are free to be who you are meant to be. You are free to express what's on your heart. And then liberty is that you can take the action to express that. So just from a spiritual perspective, it's about that choice. You have that choice. Now, you can go into the English and have a look what both those words mean, and they'll probably mean something slightly different. But at the end of the day, like, you know, if you want scripture, it says, you know, Jesus came to set people free and to give them liberty. So freedom is out of shackles, out of chains, out of bondage, right? And liberty is being who you were designed to be, who you were called to be, and the relationship, the liberty in the relationship that you have with God. There is liberty in that, because when you step in the spirit realm, there's so much freedom in it, as in right relationship with God, that there is no bondage, there's no barriers, there's no boxes, because you are free. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so if I understand correctly, the one is the movement to go into the real freedom, to take action and use this liberty to go into full freedom.
Yeah, so it's choices.
Yeah,
It's the
yes.
choice. It's the free will.
The path and the free will to get to the freedom.
Yeah. Well, you're already free.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
to
right.
be aware of that freedom, because we don't recognize it as freedom, because we
Yeah.
still. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah.
That's okay. So, you know, it's the freedom to think, it's the freedom to learn, it's the freedom to experience the things that are available to you. And hopefully, you know, this grazing table of different tools of the spirit that I prepare for you guys, it's all up to you. I can't make you grab hold of these tools to make your life, you know, the way that you would like it to be or how God would like it to be. You have a choice. You have the freedom of choice. To, you know, you can come on this and just, oh yeah, that was a nice little conversation. You know, oh yeah, some of those words are really good, but I find it actually is sorry, so Alexa just put a meaning up for me. Let me read it for you. Or did everyone see that? Thanks, Alexa. It's from the dictionary: liberty, freedom from external or foreign rule, and independence. Okay, so that's where I was saying Jesus said that he came to bring liberty. So from foreign rule, remember I talked about coming out from one kingdom into another. Thanks, Alexa. So this is where we have the choice to come out of the kingdom of darkness and step into the kingdom of light. We come out of the rule of Lucifer, because that's what we have around us. That's what evil is. And let me tell you what the battle is, guys. The battle is, even though judgment in Revelations has already been deemed on Lucifer, he is already finished. He will not succeed in his agenda, but he is still trying to usurp the throne of God. Now, for those that know their Bible, why was Lucifer cast out of heaven? Yeah.
Is it me?
Lisa? Yeah.
Also, I guess that Cal was telling, and it making sense that he was attempting God, that he could be a better king than God, that he had more power, so that he wanted to prove. And then God said, well, prove it to me. Let's see this. And I gave you a certain amount of time to prove this, right? And then they more or less work together to create people with a free will, but still with the good and the bad in them, right? So the dark side and the light side, they have the free choice, so that they can make a decision. And if they want to choose for Satan, then Satan had one. If they choose for the light, then God won. A bit like that. So this is a bit my understanding. I don't know if I'm correct, but this is how I see it.
Well, it basically in Isaiah, it talks about, you know, describes who Lucifer was and is, and even his adornment. But he was cast out of heaven because he thought that he could be better than God. So let me put it this way: no one can be better than their creator. Does that make sense? So God created us, so he's calling us up to be who he made us to be. But we can't supersede God. Then we're stepping into the realm of what Lucifer wanted to do, and that was supersede God. So, and, you know, that's where his judgment's already been passed. That's why at the end, good will always win. The problem is he's behaving like a spoiled child that doesn't want to accept the consequences. And he's trying to take as many people with him onto, you know, well, I'm going to go into this direction and I'm going to be punished and I'm going to be cast into the pit of hell. So I'm going to try and take as many people with us as I can. That's basically his game. And that's where he tricks people into selling their soul. And his offering is always, you know, the 3 G's, the gold, the glory, and the girls, or the guys, depending what gender you are. And then every time they're agreeing with him, they're selling another part of their soul. And that's like, if we started to talk about the satanic rituals and the things that they have to do to get into that, those levels of fame and wealth and the elite, you know, you would be sitting here going in disbelief. But that is the prices that they pay. And that's, you know, it's interesting because we look at them going, oh, wouldn't it be great to be that famous? I look at that going, I would not have signed that contract. I don't need to be famous. I don't need that money, because there is a huge price to be paid with it. And Satan will take it away whenever he wants. There's no freedom and liberty in their life. They are constantly in bondage, and they are under his rule and reign. And it only takes basically a miracle of God to get them out. And it means a complete change of heart for them. Nina, have you got your hand up? Or you just, no? Yes, Lisa.
Sorry that I am again, but I just wanted to point out that I always admired the people that could make very good music, right? Till I discovered exactly what you said. So I was a bit afraid that, or not afraid, but I thought it was very difficult also, because the talent that you got from God, namely that you can do this music, right? This is very, very good. If you can do this, young or old or whatever, very, very good. That Satan abuses that to work against you, because exactly what you should do is making use of your big talent, right? The greatest talent you put in, and effort and all the stuff, your energy, your whole soul, let's say. So then you put this forward, and you want to leave everything to achieve what you really, really are good at. And then Satan comes and put a contract in between. And that's how he does it all the time. So people who are really good in such stuff will always be blocked by that kind of, what is it, dirt. And Satan used this very powerful talent against you. So this is a bit how I look at it. But yeah, I think it's a pity, because I don't know now anymore if people like James Last, I don't know if you know him. He was very famous in Europe, and he was motivating the people to get joyful and really, really lifting those whole spirit up. So then I heard from you that Satan, or Lucifer, or I don't know how the terms, that he was very good. He was a master in the music. So I thought, what is music then? Does it come from God, or does it come from Satan? Is it
it definitely comes from God. We've all got music within us. We all respond to you know, rhythm and sound, and you know, like I love good music. But the problem is that, which is one of the things that we have to change. See, I find that, you know, people have got good people that are on the right page, on the right side, have incredible talents, but we, the community that knows right, does not back them. We won't support them. And I'm like, what is that? Are we still stuck in the tall poppy syndrome where, you know, we like someone that comes up through the dirt? Because that's the story that Lucifer seems to tell with every musician is, you know, we found them on the streets and next minute, you know, they're flying high. But we, the community, we, God's people, so to speak, do not get behind those that are truly talented with the right heart, even with the right frequency on their music. We do not support them. And I'm speaking from firsthand experience, if I can say this, is that, you know, I know many young musicians, and my daughter is one of them, that writes profound music that has a message, and we can't find anybody to help us launch her. She's got over 120 songs ready to go that need recording, but we can't launch her. We've been trying for years, because what happens is the enemy comes along and offers her a contract, and we go, no, we're not. She will not sell her soul to the devil. But she has a message and a purpose to bring. And I knew that when I was carrying her. God told me very clearly what her blueprint and her purpose on this earth is for. And she's going to be turning 30 this year. And then the song that she released, Rolling Back the Curtains, which is about child trafficking, of course, the evil shut it down. She had 30,000 hits in less than 24 hours when it was released, and then they wiped it. See, this is where we need to do things in the spirit. Can I be really blunt here? I find we are very apathetic in moving in the power that we have from God and how we can change circumstances and situations. And, you know, we want the side of it that makes us feel fluffy and lovely and all that sort of thing, but we don't then put it into action. We're not, and I'm not targeting anybody here. I'm just saying in general, this is what I find, that a lot of people don't want to do very much, because it's like, oh, well, that'll upset my agenda or my day. We don't get behind people that we should get behind. And that's where it's, you know, there needs to be a big shift in how we support one another, how we do community, how we do life with one another. And I mean, I'm finding more and more people that are coming into my life. We're really there for one another like never before. So, you know, we're cheering each other on. We're getting in there. We're helping one another. We're being practical. We're people are offering up their houses so that I can bring some of the things that I was born to bring. People are helping me with things that I'm not very good at, like, you know, admin or, you know, running a Zoom call. And that's really nice to see. It's really nice to see that happening. And I've helped people all my entire life. So it's nice to get a little bit back in that sense. But I think we fall very short on truly knowing how to be a community of people, or we can use the word the ecclesia, where the true sons and daughters of God know how to work together and support one another, instead of going, oh, you know, well, that's them, that's not me. I mean, let's look at the history of that. How many of you have been involved in churches where mission families put up their hand to be missionaries, and then, you know, the church sends them off with $200 and says, well, there you go, make your way. And they go through that's not God's heart. Can I tell you that right now? But they package it as, well, God's going to grow you in your faith and in your ability to believe in him. That is, I'm going to say it, it's absolute bullshit. It is just religious propaganda, which causes people to go through trials and tribulations and things that they were never meant to go through. That was not God's heart. Was it God's heart to go into a country and help people? Yes. But to be sent from these multi-million-dollar churches with a couple of $100 in your pocket, you know, and you'll figure it out, you know, it's a test of faith, is absolute bullshit. And that's what we've got to start calling. We've got to start calling the religious BS and start exposing it. And even when people have those sort of thinkings, go, what? Why are you thinking that? That is a belief system that will now operate in their life. And that pattern will keep reoccurring because that's their belief system. This is the shift that we're in. We've got to be open to having our beliefs challenged and our mindsets changed so that we can then come into the fullness of the truth of who we are, who God is, and the situation, that the life that's meant to be ours. Let me ask you this question. How many of you are accepting certain health aspects because you've been told that's your age? You don't have to answer me, but I want you to think about that. Oh, it's because I'm 50, so now I have to go through menopause. Or, you know, oh, I'm 80 now, so I'm going to lose my eyesight. Like, this is all the rubbish of the agenda that we have been programmed with. Now, you know, I'm controversial, and that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. But from the age of 25, people go, oh yeah, when you hit 30, this is going to happen. When you hit 40, this is going to happen. I go, no, not happening to me. Oh, you wait till you're 50 and you go through menopause. Nah, not having that. They are contracts. They are agreements that we agree with. And I go, nah, not having that. And I never went through menopause because I refuse to accept their diagnosis. And I still do it with things today. I have done all my life. Or they'd say things over my kids. Oh, yeah, when he gets older, he's going to be blah, blah, blah. I go, nah, that's not going to happen. And sometimes I'll say it to their face because they need to hear the rubbish that they are, the curses that they are speaking over my children or my friends or whatever. This is where we have to be more vocal. And if it means that they're not your friend, doesn't matter, because they're not worth being your friend. Because if that's what they're saying to your face, what are they saying behind your back? And I feel that we need to get a lot more, you know, the grace message was another message that all it did through religion was condone pedophilia, molestation, child sacrifices. Because, you know, we put grace over that sin. And yet, on the other hand, they're telling you if you sin, you're going to hell. Like, look at the hypocrisy of some of the conversations that we've been taught on this earth. And it's time to put a stop to it. It's time to challenge it in the sense of going, you're speaking rubbish. You don't even know what you're saying. You're cursing people. You are deeming a contract that I don't want to be a part of. This is where we have freedom and liberty. This is where we go, no, I'm not coming under that bondage. I'm not coming into those chains. According to, you know, what I understand from the things of the Spirit and Scripture, we were designed to live 800 years. And yet here we are in our 50s and 60s with all these ailments. Thank you, pharmaceuticals. Thank you, all the rubbish that they put in all our food. And that's why we have to become more aware of what we eat, the things that we say, the things that we participate in. It's going to be a very big shift. And someone needs to start it, and we need to all participate in it. So I just want to encourage you guys, you know, this is the strength that you have in you. Stand up for what you know is right or wrong. Don't accept the rubbish that people will put on you. Just reject it. You don't have to say it to their face, but if you need to, do so. But you can turn and go, I'm not having that. I'll just reject that. These are the choices that we have. And these are part of, all the things that the timelines, looking, into our future. All these things are all the tools that we have and looking into our past to see what's been spoken over us. Honestly, guys, breaking soul ties, negative soul ties, dealing with curses, vows, and oaths are really important. People dismiss it, but it's a very important message, because you've got to break off those things so that you are not held down and under the scheme of the enemy. Sorry, I don't mean to be hard hitting today, but I'm just feeling moved in the spirit that it's what I've got to say. So, I love you guys. But this is, sometimes we've got to be challenged, and God's happy to challenge us as well. But we've got to really stop and think about what we're accepting and who we're coming under. I think it was one of the ladies here, I don't think she's on today. She, went to a retreat because someone decided that they should run a retreat because they've just got a certification. And then for 3 days, she was wondering what was wrong with her because she's coming under a spirit that it was not right. So, these are the things. Don't be afraid to look in the spirit to see who people are and what they carry and what their agenda is and who they really are. Because there's a lot of people out there that have got positions in churches, in New Age, that are not on the right side of God. They're saying all the right words. If I break down the words that they say in a child baptism, you will be shocked at what's actually being said and who it's to. And so that's part of the awareness that I want to start bringing. Beth, you have a question, darling. I see that hand.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, darling.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you too for your time, everyone. I'm new, but or kind of new, first time talker. Learning, I was raised Catholic, but also come from a Protestant side, trying to figure out different things through the Bible. This is the closest I've ever come to learning it, or studying it, I guess. So thank you for some of the insights that I get. And it's tricky because there's so much information out there, and I go to different people asking different things, and there's lots of interesting opinions. And I guess really touching on the menopause thing, I'm one of the guilty parties of saying, yes, menopause, but I've never relied on Western medicine, I guess we'd say. Or I try to work through things like, yeah, okay, I'm fortunate. I go into like, well, I'm postmenopause now, because I do feel like a lot of women's bodies in the medical field, if you want to say that, however it's perceived, have been neglected for saying, yes, this is going to happen. You feel depressed, or you feel this, or you feel that. And I feel like so much through history has been, suppressed, repressed, everything. So it's like, but I understand where you're coming from also too. It's like, I'm not going to just say, okay, this is the only way. You told me what I have to do. And I mean, I have gone down that path too. Like, oh, at 50, you got to get a colonoscopy. I'm like, and I did. And I'm like, that was kind of not really relevant when it could have been done differently. And why did I go when I didn't need it? Did it?
Yeah.
Am I all over the
Yeah.
place here?
Yeah. So did you have a question in that, or are you just sharing with us?
I'm just sharing. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if I should have put my hand up for sharing.
That's
I think
okay.
it was more on the, like, what we decide to give to others or not, you know, aspect. Who can take what from us and giving things away. Like when I was, it's basically what you were saying. You choose to follow a path
So
or not.
the key is, Beth, that doesn't matter what people say to you or ask you, just take a moment to step back and see if that's what you want to do or if you need to do it. Right.
Yeah.
So it really is just connecting directly with God. You know, the Spirit of God is alive and well. He's speaking. He speaks 24/7. He's looking to engage with you. You know, I look at it. I say I have a plaque that says up. You know, the Creator of the universe is requiring my company. You know, so that he wants to share with you and commune with you. And it's good to ask questions, but I'd be asking them from God, because you'll find that you'll get the truth, and it'll come from places that is sharing the truth, because there is a lot of manipulation and stuff like that out there. And there's lots of wording that we're learning. I feel we're going to enter into a whole new phase of new words. Because every word that we're taught, particularly in English, has double meanings, the same as the word offensive and offensive. So, you know, it can be a military stance or a game stance, or it can be I'm offended because everybody's, you know, looking at me and they don't like me and the world's crap. So, you know, that's an attitude, that offensive. So, you know, these are the things that we need to learn. We need to learn them. I'm challenging myself all the time. I'm researching all the time. I'm looking all the time to learn, so that I'm starting to get more and more equipped and aware of the things of the enemy. Now, for me, like when I first had my encounter with God, which was life-changing, I was very aware of the enemy, and I did some very interesting, I was on a lot of assignments dealing with the enemy, particularly here in Australia. And I feel like God's taking me at the next level in the learnings of it. And I'm happy to share that. I really, there's a couple of things I want to work on. They're not ready yet. Because of, you know, needing time to do that. But I will talk about baptism, infants' baptism, and I'm going to put together you know, the symbology that's in churches, which will blow your mind, because that's questions that I've been asking since I was very young. You know, the buildings, why are they the way they are? What, all the different symbolisms and things like that, like how does that fit into what they are teaching? And to, you know, to finally learn what they do actually mean and what it is all about. That's going to be a pretty big, we might have to do a special webinar for that one, Jenny, because it's going to be pretty big, but it's also going to be pretty mind-blowing. And it's all in line with Revelations 18, where we're coming out from Babylon. So, but I want to make sure that I present that really well and really clearly. So I've got to do my homework on that, so that it is broken down in a simple way. The thing that I love from people's feedback is the fact that they say, Dottie, you explain it really easily. And that it's really simple. Sometimes I think maybe I'm too simple, that you know, I'm going, well, mate, you know, this could be entry level, but the fact that people are grasping hold and being able to understand is the most important thing to me. You know, there's probably better speakers out there or more, you know, eloquent. That's okay. I just want to, you know, help those that I can help, and that's all that matters. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for this morning. And, you know, there's Beth, there's more recordings that you can go back over some of those things and see what you think, and hopefully you'll learn some things from that. But apart from that, thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Please know that you are, you know, fully loved and accepted and appreciated. I honor you all for being here. And, you know, it's sometimes we need to, okay, we've got a job to do. We're here for a purpose. And I feel that, you know, the process is that we are coming to the arrowhead of that purpose, and we can do it together. So that's the most important thing. We're not alone. We do it together, and we win. We're in the winner's circle every day. All right, guys. See you next week.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dottie.
Thank you. Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
Bye, Nina. Bye, Cindy.
Thank you.
Bye, Linda. See ya, Inga.
Okay.
Thank you.